Hari Om, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. In the 7th Adhyaya, Bhagavan explained about the knowledge of the highest, the absolute truth, knowing which we can experience the divine, who is Nirguna, Nirakara, Nischala, Ananta, Ananda, and about his superior and inferior energies, Maya, demigods, Jnani, etc. In this 8th Adhyaya, Akshara Parabrahma Yoga, we are going to know more about the Parabrahma Tattva. Kshara means perishable. Here it refers to the material world. Akshara relates to that which is eternal, spiritual world, about the Parabrahma Tattva which is eternal. Arjuna, through this chapter, asks Bhagavan to explain even more about the supreme truth. The Parabrahma Tattva is the absolute truth, the supreme energy, Paramatma, also known as Bhagavan. It is the supreme and never annihilated, is eternal and transcendental to the manifested and the unmanifested matter. It cannot be perceived by the senses. The indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Self. Karma are the actions pertaining to the development of these material bodies or fruitive activities. How should the living entity lead his life in order to merge with the divine? Mameva Smaran, remembering me alone. Bhagavan says, whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. The remembrance of the Lord at all times is possible only if one has been all through his life in constant contemplation of the Lord and in all his activities, by being more tolerant than the tree, humbler than the grass, and offering all respects to others without requiring respect in return. By this, his mind gets purified. In such a way, one will be able to depart from the body successfully, remembering the divine, and thus attains the supreme goal. Also, to those who are practiced in the Dhyana Marga or the yoga system, if at the time of death fixes his life force between the eyebrows and in full devotion engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord, will certainly attain the supreme abode. Thus, the mind constantly engaged in remembering the divine, undeviated from the path, is sure to reach the divine abode. What is the significance of the thought process that one has at the time of death? Bhagavan says, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. We know Maharaj Jadabharat thought of a deer at the time of death and so was transferred to that form of life as a deer. As the cumulative effect of the thoughts and actions of one's life influence one's thoughts at the moment of death, therefore the actions of this life determines one's future state of being. Hence, if one is transcendentally absorbed in the divine service, then his next body will be of transcendental and not physical. Who are those being able to merge with the divine, and what is the best way for it? Merging with the divine nature, that is salvation, is possible to those learned personalities who utter Omkar and who are great sages in the renounced order. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy, thereby being detached from all sensual engagements, that is pratyahar, fixing the mind on the heart and the life force at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Then, vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planet. Also, those who remember constantly the divine without deviation, to that devotee the Supreme is easy to obtain because of his constant engaged in devotional service. Why is it ideal to aim for the ultimate truth, the divine abode? After attaining the supreme abode, those great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. Bhagavan says, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of miseries wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode never takes birth again. Lord Brahma engages in the service of the Lord in the management of this universe. Even the Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and hence this creation is not free from the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. By human calculation, 1,000 years taken together is the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. And this multitude of living entities come into being as Brahma's day is manifest, and upon arrival of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated, and this continues, and the entities are helplessly dissolved. Whereas the supreme award is called unmanifested and infallible, and it is the supreme destination. When one goes there, never comes back. This nature, which is eternal, transcendental, and never annihilated, it remains as it is. Hence, it is the divine abode one should aspire for. What are the two pathways described? According to the Vedas, there are two pathways of passing from the world, one in the light and one in darkness. At the time of death, passing away from this world during the influence of the fairy god in the light at an auspicious moment during the fortnight of the moon and the 6 months when the sun travels in the north, that is Uttarayan, is one pathway. Secondly, the mystics who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the moonlit fortnight, or in the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, Dakshinayan, are who reaches the moon planet, those they come again back. Hence, when one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in the darkness, he returns. The devotees who know these two paths are never bewildered. Therefore, Bhagavan says, be always fixed in devotion. This is what Bhagavan has explained us through this Akshara Parabrahma Yogam, attaining the Supreme. Sai Ram, Punarmilamaha, Hari Om, Sarvam Sri Krishna Charanarvindar Pranamastu.